Hi, I'm Storm, and today I'm sitting down with a cup of tea and I'm drawing. We just had our first snow, like substantial snow of the season. We had a few flurries a couple weeks ago, but it wasn't enough to stick to the ground. And I like I like the snow a lot, honestly. I hate driving in it. Everybody seems to forget how to do it when when there's ice on the road. But other than that, I like going outside, doing all the winter activities. It's nice. But it also feels really nice to sit inside with a warm cup of tea and my sketchbook out. And I have to remind myself that it feels nice sometimes because I forget to I forget to take my sketchbook out and draw. Sometimes I don't like it's something I really enjoy doing. So when I get busy, I often forget to take it out. Maybe if I leave it somewhere a little more obvious, that I'll see it and I'll remember to do it more often. Today I'm drawing ravens. I'm just going to do a spread of them across the two pages that are open. This notebook is very tiny, like the size of a post-it note roughly. I thought that starting in a book that's smaller would help me get more motivated than if I was doing, like, say, a 9 by 12 page of sketches that seemed too intimidating for me to go with. I'm drawing ravens today specifically because I have a comic project that I'm going to be working on that heavily features a raven as a character. So this bird will be coming up a ton. Basically, most of the time that the main character is on the page, this raven will be here too. So I wanted to familiarize myself with how a raven actually looks. Off screen, I have my phone propped up with some reference pictures from Google Images. I tried looking up stuff on Pinterest. However, they kept giving me pictures of crows. Crows and ravens are different birds. Pinterest seems to have it confused, although I've noticed Pinterest is going down in usability for me specifically lately. I find myself getting really frustrated. I used to go on there and look up like clothing references and stuff, but I keep seeing lots of AI generated nonsense, frankly, that doesn't make any sense for what I'm looking for. So, because I kept getting the wrong birds, and Pinterest is just frustrating, I went on Google Images and I found more reliable pictures. I'm not a bird watcher by any means. I'm not super great at identifying birds. So I'm pretty sure all the references I had were ravens. From what I understand, ravens have like a stockier beak. And they're a ton bigger, but if you're looking at one bird with nothing else for scale in the picture, it's hard to know that, like, what the size is. Just going to do clusters of the birds in different poses. I really need to sit down and do a proper study, but I'm not in the mindset to do that right now. I think the difference between a proper study and what I'm doing right now is that I'm I'm sketching, but I'm like kind of hashing this out really fast, looking at my reference and then like putting it down on paper. If I was doing a proper study, I would be making sure that I'm paying close attention to all of the shapes that make up the bird. And while I feel myself doing that a little bit in this, it wasn't like the amount of concentration that I put into it when I'm making sure that I'm studying. I guess it's the difference between like passively doing this as an activity and trying to learn from the trying to learn oop, my phone fell from the reference images as opposed to just using them as a reference. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it feels like it makes sense. at least in my experience. This year I really want to be drawing more. So, this is probably going to be a series. If you would be interested in it being a series, you could let me know down below. Um, I started this one by breaking down the shapes a little bit, like if I were doing a study, but I was just trying to get the general feel for how the head was turned in comparison to the body. Um, it's hard imagining things in a 3D space sometimes, especially with something like a bird where you have all these overlapping parts, especially when their like wings are folded in and they're sitting in a way that's like covering their feet and their heads tilted. I really like the pose of this one flying overhead. It really highlights like the shape of the wings and the wedge shape that the tail feathers make. I also thought it was interesting to see the beak from underneath and how the eye looks when it's shifted up. And the feathers are also They're not completely opaque, so you can see where the feathers line up underneath of each other because there's that darker area. At this point, I decided to go over most of these ravens again in pen, so I'm just going to speed this next part up, since you already seen me sketch all of it. If you were drawing while watching this video, I'd love to hear about what you were making. I'll see you next time. Bye!